think the last, I don't know, it's like, because you get to a certain point, and we've talked about this, we get to a certain point in your life, and you're like, okay, it's time to like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to focus in, and especially at work, I started to get, okay, cool, let's see what happens at the job, and you start putting more care and more energy and more focus into the job you have at hand. So like, yeah, because yeah, you're now in management, and yeah, there's always that possibility of me even moving up.
Right.
And then I don't know, the last 2 or 3 months, you put so much, yeah, so much stress. You stress yourself so much to make everything, like optimize everything, make everything efficient, and it doesn't seem like sometimes other people don't care, and you get really frustrated and really mad. And I just kind of like lost my shit for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it's also a thing that like when you give a shit and you try, like you said, they don't really care. Nothing really gets
and it
said.
makes you mad.
But the moment
even
you go
more
like,
mad.
I can't emotionally function like this, let me not care as much.
Then
then all of a sudden they turn around the corner and then start.
Because it got
hey, what happened?
It got to the point where it felt like there was a pressure on my chest.
Yeah.
I'd wake up, go to work, and pressure on my chest. As soon as I left, I mean, I guess that's anxiety or stress.
Yeah.
It's not a tough job,
Yeah.
but you care so much that you're wondering, why can't this other person or these other people care as much as I do, especially when you want things to run properly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's impossible to know what someone's going through unless they just straight up tell you what they're going through.
That is true, yeah.
And
Because
so
there's sometimes where you'd be like, this is the laziest, uncomfortable person, and then you hear a little bit about their story and you're like, damn.
Yeah, maybe you should be a little bit...
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say it was probably, like a couple weeks ago. I mean, I just, 2, 3 weeks ago. There was like a 2-week span where I just, anyone that said anything to me or questioned anything that I did, I was like, listen, just shut the fuck up and do your fucking job, because I'm trying to make gold over here, and you're making it into a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I cussed out. Like several managers to their face, several employees to their face. I was just like I made a change in the department I work at, because I was just getting fed up with people complaining. This one person made a suggestion, like, it used to be like this. If you hear the AC, it's because it's Florida and it's like 90-something degrees outside.
Yeah, it's moist. I meant to bring over my paper towel to wipe my brow.
Yeah.
I'll just use the dog.
Yeah, but I made this change, and in the beginning, I didn't tell anybody. I just made the change because I was just, this is going to be better. Mm-hmm. And half the people loved it, half the people hated it, and then there were some people that tell me, like, hey, we need you to change it back. And I said, cool, you do it.
I mean, it is fair, yeah.
It's like, you do it. Cause, and then, I don't know,
don't mess with the camera.
I think that's kind of a one thing
boop, boop. Yeah.
that when you, I guess when you erupt, and then you kind of just like it's hard to take a step back and just realize you need to take a step back. I take a step back, and I've been reading Jeremy. It's been taking me like forever to read it, but I've been slowly reading Jeremy Renner's memoir about how he almost died.
Yeah.
Which now it's even more crazy.
Because he did die. Oh wait, what's crazy?
According to the book, it said he believes that he actually did die. He had a near-death experience while he was lying in the snow, waiting for paramedics to come and pick him up and save him. But he had to. The book is called My Next Breath, and it's funny how when you're reading something, how at a certain time it's sort of kind of, it's like the book you needed to read right at the right moment.
Yeah.
Is it the greatest written book? No, he's not a writer, and he actually says that. He's like, I'm not a writer, but it's just raw and real, and sometimes you just need that.
Yeah.
And he had to manually breathe while all of his ribs were broken.
So like,
and it mentions that when he was a kid that he went to what, Lamaze? Is it Lamaze classes or whatever that thing?
For pregnancy?
Yeah, where you breathe.
Yeah.
Is it Lamaze?
If we're talking about like the pregnancy breathing stuff,
yeah. Is that what it's? That's how it's pronounced?
I think so. Yeah.
Le Mans is the race. I know that. Le Mans. Yeah. Whatever. Whatever.
11?
But he was mentioning how whenever he's in a stressful situation, he literally just focuses on his breath. And the last like week and a half, I've woken up because I take a shower right before I go to work, which I'm sure I wake you up all the time. But your room's
Sometimes
right next
it
to
depends.
the
Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
Room's right next to the bathroom. But I just started to focus on just breathing rather than, oh my God, I'm going to go into work.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been kind of working. That pressure on the chest is not there as much.
I should
if not
probably,
at all.
in a similar way, I've done it because, I mean, I work right down the road, so I walk to work. But I'll be walking and I'll just be like, it's gonna be okay.
And you have to tell yourself that.
Because in my mind, like, I'll build up this whole scenario of what I'm walking into. And usually I walk in and within 10 minutes, it's like, oh, it's fine. I don't know what I was freaking out about.
Yeah.
But sometimes there is. But yeah, I would say even with the breathing, because I remember Schwan said it once, though, when we were going to Mikey's funeral. He said, breathe in for 3, out for 2, or something like that. But just kind of like if you feel like you're about to absolutely lose it,
just breathe. And it's been kind of working.
Yeah.
At least for me. And what I also notice when I do breathe and I do focus more on my breath, I start realizing that I wear a mouth guard because I clench my teeth at night. I don't grind my teeth. I bite down really hard, I guess. And I've gone through the last since we've lived in the same roof. I think I've gone through 5 or 6 mouth guards. Just bit right through them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
what kind of dreams are you having?
I don't have as many dreams anymore because I usually wake up in the middle of the night to pee, which is not normal. Maybe that's just getting older.
Yeah.
But I started realizing at work when I am about to get angry and frustrated, I literally would just stop what I'm doing and I'm just breathing now, and I'm focusing on. I wrote in my journal that working is not something I love doing. Work to me it's like a chore. But I'm trying to view it in a different perspective now, where I think what I wrote was it's in service to my end goal and dreams.
Yeah.
So
that relieves a lot of
and it takes away from it takes that pressure of and so now that I view it that way, it's in service of what I ultimately want to do with my life. And I have even more so focused in exactly what I want, and now that I've kind of focused in exactly what I want, there's less pressure to achieve it, because it's going to get achieved because I'm working towards it. And I also think as I've gotten older, and I don't know if you have, when I was in my late teens, 20s, even into my early 30s, I was always putting the pressure on myself of it has to be done by this year at this time. If not, you're a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so much stress that I wouldn't even attempt to do things sometimes. Now I'm more looking at it as the fun part is actually right now. It's the journey getting to the end.
Yeah.
Which the end might just be me dying.
For sure.
Which eventually
it's everybody's end. Yeah, at some point.
But yeah, it's kind of grim to look at that way.
No, but it's true. It makes you appreciate things more if you keep that in mind.
I'm looking more towards having fun learning something, like learning something new, and using failure as a way. Oh, I just learned something, and having that childhood curiosity rather than I need to make a ton of money right now, because making a ton of money right now is the thing that takes the fun out of the thing that I'm doing right now. And so if you take it as I'm curious about this thing, let me learn it as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then there may be a point, it might take me a month, it might take me a couple years, it might take me 20 years, I don't know. But once I have learned all that I think I can learn about that one thing, I want to learn something else.